Hi, I'm Adrienne from Mum's House Party. Welcome to my video today. A little bit of a different one today. I've got lots of beauty products for Christmas, so I thought I would do a little bit of a get ready with me. So see how I go from this to this. In less than 20 minutes I've been able to do my eye makeup, my foundation, I've curled my hair and I'm out the door in 20 minutes. I know we're really busy as mums and busy people and we need to get out the door fast, especially with little people around our feet. So this is a really quick, easy routine that you can do on a daily basis. Glam it up if you need to and take away if you want to, but it's really, really easy. So I'll go through the products I'm going to use and then I'll zoom in so you can see what we're up to. First thing I'm going to do is moisturise. I've got the No. 7 Perfect and Protect Moisturising Day Cream. And just a tiny bit of this. So I've already moisturised twice this morning. Once when I got out of the shower, and then again just before applying this. I find it really important to moisturise a lot, especially in this weather, and especially if you've got really tired, porous skin. There are two products I always use, even if I haven't got much time. That's a primer. This is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, and I always use a setting spray. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Spray, and it's brilliant. Now the moisturiser is soaked in, I'm going to just get a little bit of primer. Not very much. As you can probably see, not a lot there at all. And just use it in the areas that you need the most. Don't use it all over, and you just need to use a patting motion. Pat it into the skin. I need it here, around this area, in the eyebrows here, because this is where my eyebrow pencil shows up quite a lot with pores. So I just do it there, a little bit under the eyes and a little bit on the top. And I find that my eyeshadow will last all day then. Next up is a little bit of concealer under the eyes here. That's the only place I really use it. And here where I've broken out over Christmas from too many sweets. So I've got the Collection Lasting Perfection Corrector here. Now, if you've got dry skin or tired skin with a few lines, you don't want very much because it's quite thick. So I'm just going to dab it on, just a tiny bit. And just work that in with the end of my makeup sponge. Next up is the foundation, and I've got the L'Oreal Infallible. This is in the shade Vanilla Rose, and I'm just going to pop a little bit on my hand here. One big squirt, and that should do most of my face. With a beauty blender, just picking up a little bit of product, and I'm just going to work it in. I don't use an eyeshadow primer. I tend to just use my foundation because it tends, with the primer, the Smashbox primer as well, you don't really need an eyelid primer. So there we have it. There's the foundation all done. And I'm just going for a light coverage today. I've just done the concealer here and on my chin because I don't want it to look too heavy today. I'm not going out anywhere in particular, so I don't need a full face, and this is probably what I would do for work as well. I've got some new mineral finishing powder. This is by Rude, and this is the colour Translucent. When you have a little bit of a mature skin like I do, or you're knackered from looking after the kids, you don't want too much powder. This is the secret because it just sits in the lines. So just work a tiny little bit in, just to take the shine off of that foundation. I'm literally just going in, taking off the excess, and dabbing on, and then just buffing in. I've got two brushes. I've got this brush which I use for bronzer, which is a slightly tapered brush, and then I've got this big fat soft brush for blush. So I'm taking my large tapered brush, and this is the Maybelline City Bronzer in the shade Deep Cool 300, and I'm just going to take a bit of product on the edge of the brush, not too much, and I'm going to just tap it off And I'm going to start at the top of my ear and work towards the edge of my lip, but not all the way down. So I'm just going to sweep it. Next, I'm going to go in with the Soap and Glory. This is in the shade Cheeky Pink. Look at the colour of that. That is super. And this is where I'm going to take my big blush brush, and I'm just going to pat it on there, not too much because this is quite pigmented. And I'm just going to do the apples of my cheeks and bring it up. So we've got our foundation, we've got our bronze, we've got our blush, and now we're going to do the eyebrows. This is the e.l.f. eyebrow pencil. It's the Ultra Precision Brow Pencil in the shade Neutral Brown. It's got a spoolie on the end, which is always useful. So I'm just going to brush them out, and then I'm going to go in. I'll show you how I do my eyebrows. So I'm going to just make the pencil a little bit bigger so we've got enough to do the whole eyebrow. I start at the top, but I don't start in this corner here. I start up here, sort of centrally. And then once I'm happy, I take the spoolie again and I just brush it out slightly. So on my little shopping spree, I managed to pick up the new Fenty Beauty Snap Palette. I only got one because I wasn't sure. I'm still not confident with eyeshadow really. So I just got one to try. So this is 3 Deep Neutrals, it's called. Let me open it up and show you. So here is the palette. It's absolutely beautiful. No Fudge Given, Shots Fired, Fear Freak. We've got Nudie Booty. We've got Heaven Sent, this one here, and Smash or Pass, which is a sort of iridescent. I don't know if you can see it very well. An iridescent-y one in the corner there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a sort of a tapered brush. It's like the bronzing brush, but it's slightly smaller, as you can see. But it's tapered at the end. It's not big, like this one is slightly bigger and flatter, but I want this one just to, so I can get into the crease a little bit more. So I'm going to take the shade Nudie Booty, this one here, and I'm just going to pop that in the crease of my eye here. I'm going to take a tiny bit of product here on the end of the brush. There we go. You can see that, not much at all really. Okay, and I'm going to tap it off because I don't want it to be too much, and I'm just going to pat that into the crease of my eye. Now I have hooded eyelids, so I'm going to take it a little bit higher than I would normally. If you haven't got hooded eyelids, you just do it in the crease, but because you can't see that when I open my eye like that, I'm going to take it slightly higher up here so you can see it, just patting it up here. Now at first, if you haven't done this before with a bold colour, it can be quite scary, but don't panic. We're just placing it at the moment. All the blending's going to come. So we've placed the colour, and I like to do the other side before I go on to do anything else so that I've got the same shape on the other side. So I'm going to get a little bit more product, tap it off, and I'm going to do the same on the other eye. This is actually a lot redder. I don't know if you can see that. That's a lot redder than that palette colour there. This looks brown in the palette, but it's actually quite red. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take my bigger brush that I showed you before, slightly flatter brush, and I'm just going to blend out that top line because that's quite harsh. So we've got a base here now. I'm going to go in with this darker colour here, and I'm just going to pop it on the edge here just to give a little bit of definition. I'm sitting here talking to you, going through it and taking it slowly, so this is going to take longer than it would if you were doing it yourself quickly in the morning. So this would take perhaps 5 minutes on the eyes, if that, including your eyebrows and your eyelashes. I'm lucky enough to have extensions, so I don't have to put mascara on, but 5 minutes tops on the eyes. Done this base layer, we're now going to define with this darker colour. I'm going to take a little bit of product just on the tip of my brush, tiny bit. So I'm going to just dab it on the corner of the eye here. Okay, so we've got a blob here and a blob here in theory. Now with the tip of that brush, just take a tiny little bit of product on the tip of that brush, and we're just going to take it under the eye like this. Okay, so again, tiny little bit off the tip of that brush. You just take it under the eye. Again, only to the middle and up into that lash line to blend with that blob that you've put in that corner. Then, using your clean brush that we blended out this, we're just going to blend in this line here. Okay, so there we have 2 equal eyes. Now I do like a bit of shimmer, so I'm going to take this, it's like a rose gold, it's the shade Heaven Scent. I've got a little brush here. So this is a tiny little round brush. It's really good at just placing the colour where you want it. So I'm going to put it from the corner of the eye to meet this dark patch here. And you want quite a bit on your brush, but make sure that you tap off that excess because you don't want it falling down here. So I'm just going to tap it on, just placing it. And now I'm going to blend it in to that black at the end. I say black, it's brown, isn't it? And then with that little tiny brush that we put that sparkle on with, I'm just going to take this orangey colour here, which is the shade Fear Freak. Just a tiny bit on the end of that brush. Tap it off, and I'm going to just place it under here, just to bring out a little bit more colour on the under eye. Again, just a little bit of product, and again under the eye. I might just put a little bit there in between the dark and the shimmer. Just use that bit of product up. Okay, so that's the eyes. I might just put a little bit of highlighter up there. So I've got this Max & More palette, very old. This is from Home Bargains, 99p. This is all the blush and contouring shades you'd ever need. Just going to take my fan brush and pick up just a little bit of this light shimmer here. And I'm just going to shimmer up, highlight my cheekbone here. I'm just sweeping up on this side. So a little bit more product. I'm just placing it there. Okay, a little bit more down the nose. Up onto the forehead. And then I'm just going to take this big blending brush, the clean one that we've been using, with a tiny bit of product on the end, just so I can place it where I want it to go up here. And I'm just going to blend that in slightly. Quite bright. A little bit more. And place it where you want it to go. And blend it. There we go. So I think I need a little bit more blush, just a tiny bit. Actually, I think we're going to go in with a bit more bronze. So just a little bit of product, not much. I'm just going to define this a little bit more. I'm looking a little bit pasty on the nose and back in this side. There. And a little bit down the neck, just to connect it all. There. Now, I don't have to do anything with my lashes. I might just go through them with a spoolie. I'm just going to brush out the lashes. At this point, this is where I'm going to put setting spray on. Put your setting spray on before you finish with mascara. Because otherwise your mascara is going to run everywhere. So this is the Infallible Fixing Mist, L'Oreal. Give it a really good shake before you spray it. And otherwise you end up with little white patches everywhere. I've given it a good shake and I'm literally going to spray from top to bottom, left and right. And keep your face really natural. Don't scrunch it up, just really natural so that all the setting spray can get into all of the creases. Okay. Just take a palette, dry it off. I'm not James Charles, I don't have a fan. You'll know when it's set because it feels quite tight. If you haven't got that tight feeling, spray some more. And now this should last all day. So when I go to bed tonight, this should all still be on. I'm just going to pop a little bit of a lip on and that's me done. Watching my video. I am not a professional beauty artist. I'll give it a whirl. If you've got 10-15 minutes this Christmas holiday, give it a whirl and see how you get on, and I would love to know in the comments how you get on. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.